Hey there, fellow pharmacist. Tired of racing against the clock, missing bedtime stories, and wondering if your coffee intake might be breaking some kind of record? Let me guess, you're starting to think there must be more to pharmacy life than this daily sprint. I'm Stephanie, your PharmD friend who's been in those same stressed out shoes. And this is your remote remedy, your weekly dose of hope, help, and real talk about breaking into the world of remote pharmacist work. So, whether you're daydreaming about swapping your work shoes for slippers, taking calls from your favorite coffee shop, or just getting back those 2 hours of commute in exchange for a morning workout, you're in the right place. So, get ready to discover how your PharmD can be your ticket to the flexible, balanced life you've been craving. The pharmacist job search has changed drastically, but no one's given us the updated playbook. Remember when all you really needed was a really polished resume on that thick cardstock type of paper and maybe a really good handshake? Those were the days. But now we hear buzzwords and must dos like LinkedIn optimization, ATS friendly formats, personal branding, digital networking, and keywords. But the truth is, not all of these job search activities matter the same. So some pharmacists spend weeks and months trying to polish up their resume, um, but only to really find out that that's not really what lands these roles. But here's the good news. Landing a remote pharmacist position does not require superhuman powers. So you don't need vague advice like put yourself out there, make job searching your second job, and you have to master every new platform that's out there. But what you really need is kind of a framework or a step by step process. So, in today's episode, you'll discover why the old way of job hunting is holding you back, the new rules of landing a remote pharmacist role, and a few action steps you can take away this week. So for me, I always actually did it the old school way. I'd have a really nice resume. Like I said, it was actually probably pretty long. And I would just, do really well in my interviews, I think. But I also, thinking back, I did make a lot of my subsequent connections and jobs through people, connections, and relationships that I had built. But it wasn't until recently when I started applying for remote pharmacist jobs, and I just found myself on these online job postings, just LinkedIn and Indeed, and just like so easy to apply to these jobs, and just I was like apply, apply, just kind of automatically. But obviously, that got me nowhere. And I think the very most I got was one of those like automated rejection letters. So I kind of realized something was going on and I wasn't taking the right approach. So I have found a lot of success and adapted new ways to standing out. So, but before I share my exact formula that's been working for remote job seekers right now, I want to tell you that after hundreds of hours researching what works in the job search process, I've packaged it all together into a complete step by step system for you. My course is only available via email, so join hundreds of other pharmacists already on the list waiting for my course. So check out the link in the show notes and I'll see you in the inside. So, building your digital presence and personal brand. Think about this. What do people say about you when you're not in the room? That's your personal brand. And here's the truth, you already have one. Right now, your colleagues and managers are forming opinions about you, about your work style, your work ethics, the impact that you're having. So the real question is, are you letting others define your brand or are you helping them shape it? So I used to think personal branding was just for influencers, but it's actually about positioning yourself as a thought leader. And this totally transformed my way of thinking. Thank you to Dr. Jamie Wilkie for helping me reframe that mindset. So, once you own your niche, opportunities will start coming your way. So, your professional story includes how you can solve problems, your communication style, what makes your approach unique, and the impact that you consistently deliver. For example, are you known for catching drug interactions that others miss, maybe making very anxious patients feel at ease, or finding creative solutions to workflow problems? So, your action item is to create your brand statement, which is 1 to 2 sentences that capture who you are and what makes you unique. And you can follow this formula. I help who to do what by and how you do it uniquely. So, for example, I help healthcare teams deliver better patient care by breaking down complex medication information into clear, actionable insights. Known for combining clinical expertise with innovative problem solving to improve medication safety and workflow efficiency. I think that sounds pretty good and much better than saying passionate pharmacist. So start putting that brand to work by sharing your thoughts, insights, and any ideas related to your personal brand. So the second game changer is resumes. So the truth is, hiring managers spend about 6 seconds per resume, mostly focusing on data that you can't change, like your name, your employer, what job titles you've had, and what school you went to. And however, you would say, well, what's the point of the resume then? It's still a necessary evil in the job search process, but we don't need to spend hundreds of hours perfecting it. Because you know what? There's no such thing as a perfect resume, but we agonize over it as if it is. But we often let resume tweaking and fixating on it delay our actual job search process and the things that actually move the needle and getting that interview. And it also drains our energy and focus. And so, what I say is focus on what is objectively perfect. Grammar, punctuation, spelling, those are things are red flags that if are on your resume are going to stand out for sure and people will notice. And all those bullets that you list under each job, think about narrowing them down and changing them from responsibilities to actually accomplishments that show impact and results. For example, maybe you participated in an antimicrobial stewardship program, but that's more of a responsibility participated. But after, you could phrase it as reduced broad spectrum antibiotic use by 25% through targeted interventions and physician education, saving hospital $100K annually. Well, that really shows impact and transformation. The third thing that I often see people do is kind of appearing desperate, and it's not hard to come off that way by simply sending your resume when it hasn't been asked for to people, like, here's my resume, can you help me find a job? Posting about asking for jobs and even using that open to work sign. I just don't think that really works, and it kind of maybe scares people away. Instead, it's so much more impactful to build rapport. That's the most important, and gain usable information by talking to people and making connections. And then after you make these connections with people, these could be people that are in the industry that are have the jobs that you are thinking about. And then you need to have regular check-ins. This is another key thing. We talk to someone and then we never speak to them again. And these check-ins are key because they keep you on their radar without having to ask for anything. You're just sending a regular check-in saying, hey, just wanted to update you, give you a quick update on how things are going. And also letting them know those advice or recommendations that they gave to you, how it impacted or helped you, or maybe a connection that they gave to you. Well, what did that lead to? People love to hear that kind of stuff. I love it. Also, by having regular check-ins with your connections, you make it easy for them to share opportunities that they may hear about. And so it keeps you top of mind when something kind of comes across and they're going to think of you, and it's going to be easy for them to just follow up with you because you just sent them an email maybe a couple weeks ago. And really, it's all about building genuine relationships beyond just the job searching that will just have the impact way beyond just getting you your next job. And so having these connections and making regular check-ins are key. And I know, especially as being an introverted pharmacist, that is really hard to do. And so some common pitfalls to avoid. So many pharmacists tell me they rely only on online job postings. Well, that is just a black hole for your resume. And so if hundreds of people are applying to these online job postings, then people that are in the hiring position aren't going to have time to read all these resumes. So they're going to go for the candidate that was recommended to them, probably by someone that works there. So again, that's where those connections are key, because then you turn them into an advocate for you. And then having a scattered focus. So just kind of applying to all different types of jobs. Well, one, if you do get an interview, they're going to kind of know that you're not genuinely interested, and that you just applied to apply. And that's going to be very apparent, and that's not going to get you the job. And you're going to also hurt your confidence as well. And also, it's really hard to stand out when you don't really know what you're trying to attract, right? So having 1 to 3 specific career paths that you're interested at the most. And I often see people asking for a job instead of actually building relationships. So just what's in it for me, but not really making it a two-way kind of relationship. And also not utilizing their LinkedIn profile, not having a photo or a professional one, a clear headline, not using the banner. That's really good retail space to kind of stand out. The about section, there is just so much you can do with a LinkedIn profile to stand out. So for you, my questions are you still job hunting like it's 2010? What digital skills do you need to develop to be able to have an online presence and learn how to make these connections? And how visible are you online to potential employers? So this week, I challenge you to do one thing to upgrade your digital online presence. Update your LinkedIn headline, use a professional looking photo, use your iPhone in portrait mode. That's all you need to do. Maybe make one new connection to someone you don't know, or send a quick update to someone that maybe you did connect with a while back but haven't followed up with. So feel free, please connect with me on LinkedIn at Stephanie Smith and let me know which step you're taking first. And right now, I'm recording this episode. It's Vermont, it's winter, and I have felt the skin dryness so much. And so I started using a brand called Imogene & Co. And the products are made by a pharmacist, Dr. Allison Brennan, and she just perfectly crafts science and nature together to make the most delightful products. And I love them so, so much. And I think you will too. So if you want to check them out and support a fellow pharmacist, here's a discount code for my listeners. Use code STEPH10 for 10% off.